Yep.
Good morning. It is what?
It's not going to happen now.
It is Tuesday, March 1st, which makes it, I believe, now it's Monday, May 30th.
It is.
Monday, May 30th. We're 90 days out from Monday, May 30th. As we gather before we hit the play button, which today we made it to on air. Kudos to me. Yeah, we made it all the way to the technicals. We got all the way to the internets today. Thank you, Robert. We're mid-conversation about how Octavia should be taking both a Spanish, because she's into Encanto, which I talked about the fact that my boys are tall and they're out of the Disney window. So we're not watching that in our house. Not saying that we won't give it a watch. And then Robert started his next story with "Back when I was a wedding DJ," and madness ensued, and I hit the play button. I'm like, we're gonna push this furniture on air. Yes. Good morning, everybody. Skies are blue, lights are green. Good morning. What will we do if you know, when you're listening to morning shows, typical morning shows, they will always give you the time up until usually the 9 o'clock hour. After the 9 o'clock hour is when they stop doing that, because they assume you're in the office. And the reason they do it ahead of time is they remind you it's 27 after 7, 33 before 8. Like really bad if somebody's puking, the typical top 40 morning guy. They're doing that because at 7:27, if you're typically brushing your teeth, you're like, oh, I'm on time. They're like time markers as you get out of the house, get into the car. I'm usually at this red light, all that kind of stuff. So we always joke about that. And then Robert dropped the fact. But we referenced this the other day, Robert. I said if I put a picture of you from when you were vibrantly coiffed, I don't know how I put it, but yes, you had the pompadour. You were predictably Italian with the dark hair and the wave. And anyway, go ahead. Tell us more about when you were a wedding DJ, Dad.
So,
hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. Sorry. Yep.
This is chapter 6 of my life. So I used to think when I was younger, people, there's no way people could have done all that stuff in their life, but this is like chapter 6. And in chapter 2 of my life,
This is after the jail bid, before NASA. Go ahead. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it was before. Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And in all seriousness, not joking aside, this was just before my homeless period. So, I was a DJ and I did a party, and we were talking. The reason this kind of came up was because we were talking about Octavia learning Spanish, and I mentioned that she should also incorporate ASL, to which Zoe said, as an infant she learned it, but that she'd forgotten it since she started talking.
American Sign Language for people scoring at home, just so we have everybody on the same page.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I, as a DJ, when I did these parties for fraternities and for colleges and for weddings and all these things,
heavens,
and one of them was for the UCLA Deaf Students Society, and they asked me to DJ this thing, and they said, "Listen, the main thing is just get a bunch of subwoofers."
I was going to say, and I'm like, pump up the jam, get the bass up, right?
So I went out and rented like a truck full of subwoofers, and I came into this party, and I found it to be fascinating, entertaining, and just one of the greatest experiences of my life, because there were people that were standing in front of these monster speakers, and I'm like, get away from there, you're gonna go. And it realized that's kind of moot, but one of the best things that I saw was people across the room talking to each other. There were flirtings going on. There were conversations going on for people that were 20 and 30 feet away in this cacophony of noise. And they were talking as if they were sitting in a quiet little coffee shop somewhere. And I found that to be so it was such a great experience. And I never forgot that, because I said to myself, this is a situation where regardless of your hearing capacity, knowing that would be a fantastic thing in your life. And I did spend a little bit of time, don't ask me to do any of it, but I did spend a little bit of time learning ASL because of it.
Super cool. Well, I think one of the coolest things, I know, and here I am with my, it's springtime, it's my salted caramel latte. Yeah.
You saw the billboard.
They've got new flavor. Yeah, there's a Shamrock Macchiato that I didn't lean into, but their direct competitor, Starbucks, when you're ordering, if you go up and you have a hearing impairment, they will identify, because they can see you. Most of the restaurants can see you. They bring up the screen, and somebody on staff at all times is well versed in ASL, and they will take your order with sign language through their television screen, which is just amazeballs, and that's super cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I was going to say too, there's a lot of, and I know people have heard of this or at least seen it, because when you're watching it happen, you're like, "What's going on?" But they will do a silent prom or a silent dance, and sometimes for kids, our youngest, obviously Cameron, being on the spectrum, when he was growing up, if we went to a movie, getting back to Disney movies, Zoe, if we went to a movie where it was booming in the theater, he would bring in headphones just to knock it down. And now he's in the back seat with his Bose on, cranked to the high heaven, and we can hear every erratic verse coming out of his old school hip hop that he has on his Spotify. Yeah, so now he's got everything cranked. But
his dad music.
It's rather interesting. To bring everybody up to speed, Tech Tuesday, we're going to get to that in a second. Oh, there they are.
Yep.
Don't challenge me. I've got like four pair in here.
I should bring you Octavia's kitty cat ones.
I had those. They got stolen on the bus last week. Yeah. Oh my God.
You're on brand. Very on brand, Robert.
Michelle has some that she usually wears at the range, and then she wears them at dinner too for when he starts talking. Yeah. Blocks out all the noise. So we wanna go over the fact that we're starting to get some emails coming in from the contest from February, which is signed listing agreements for the month of February. So Zoe has given everyone grace. You have all day today to break out your abacus and do your math and make sure that you get everything submitted by midnight tonight. Timothy.lindsay@kwclm.com. We're gonna have the finalist tomorrow. I'll obviously read all the numbers when we get here tomorrow at 8:30. Above and beyond that, I can tell you the leader in the clubhouse right now, I'm not going to share the number, but I'll tell you the leader in the clubhouse does have double digits. So if we end up with a tie, we're going to go to volume. And our first three prizes, of course, you've got your conference ticket, whether you want it in person or digital, for Mega Camp in August 22nd and 23rd. Second prize is Market Center money, so you've got a $500 credit towards your office bill, towards rent, towards MAPS coaching. And then third prize, I was just joking with Richard DeSoto this morning, steak knives, which it's not. He was like, really? I'm like, no. It's $100 for Massimo's because it's a running joke, because it's Nate's favorite restaurant. And I believe that somebody who's on our list always skates to that puck because they'd rather have the $100 worth of manicotti from Massimo's to keep the alliteration going, of course. So that's going on. I was wrong yesterday. Shocking. TimIsWrong.com. Already taken. Bought it from my wife 2 years ago for her birthday. We're making the shirts. I was wrong yesterday. I said that Ignite started today. Incorrecto. That starts next week. It starts on Monday the 7th because there's enough time to squeeze it into our calendar month of March because it's 18 sessions. So we will get that in throughout the next 3.5 weeks. So you're looking at next Monday for Ignite. There's an opportunity there for you to become wicked smarter if you've never been at Ignite, or if you feel like you did Ignite back in the 70s and you're good and you still have less than 0 listings, let's jump back in. Let's do better. So there's an opportunity for growth there. It's with the entire region. You're going to meet some friends that you could maybe use as a accountability buddy, as a script partner, all those things. So let's be aware of that.
We were teased just a little bit for
I don't like where this is going.
Okay.
An update to the Ignite material. There was not a rename associated with it. So this is, it is still Ignite 2.0, but maybe this is like Ignite 2.1. So if you feel like you've seen it all before, little birdies are talking about the fact that maybe you haven't seen this one yet.
Well, and if you've been free, because you'll notice that we shove most of these educational opportunities between 9 and noon. If you've been free for the past couple of months during the morning because you're not busy doing lead gen, no judgment, lots of judgment. We have this space available. Always so judgy. It's Irish Catholic. We specialize in guilt and guilt. If you have the time available in the morning, shove your face into that class, get to know some other people that are looking for growth, and honestly, just drill down. Without fail, you're going to hear something you didn't hear last time, right? The man or the woman never steps into the same river. You're in a different place in your head, with your relationships, with your business. So just jump back in. And if that causes you to do some more business in the month of March, you can blame it all on us. Jump back in for sure. We've got 3 more weeks till we graduate from Bold. That's on Thursday. And the other thing coming up this week, And I don't know if we've told the universe yet. I'm sort of telling Zoe right now. At 1 o'clock on Thursday, Nathan W. Dickey, the W stands for wonderful, is going to join us for, I told him 30 minutes. I'll drag it out. Shocking, I know. We'll probably get closer to 42 minutes with Nathan on Thursday at 1 o'clock, Keller TV. He's going to give his notes and his ahas around family. So we're going to have all the slides from the vision speech, and Nathan is going to wax poetic about what he thought about what Gary and the rest of the crew from Texas had to say.
This Thursday.
It's coming up this Thursday. Then, why are you questioning this Thursday at 1?
Well, I was just, what a big Thursday.
It's a big Thursday.
It's a big Thursday.
Because then we have the Golden Garys. Dun, dun, dun. So, we want to talk about that a little bit more, Robert. Do you have anything else to tease out for that?
There is a potential special guest, but I'm still waiting.
Oh.
So this is literally last minute. We may have a special guest.
Technically not. Technically, we've got a couple more days till it's literally last minute. Just prep.
No,
just
for me it's last minute. It's past
last minute started in January for Robert. Yes. Yeah.
Let's put it this way. Last minute was last night.
Oh.
Going off of.
I feel judged. Here comes the judge. Here comes the judge.
Massive rewrites and massive re-edits, thanks to the team.
I had to clear my. I was here.
Everybody's under the
Mr.
bus.
Scrooge let me put an extra piece of coal on the fire. I made some tea with honey. Cleared my throat. She sells. But yeah, see, I can't even do it anymore. I lost my mind last night. But yeah, we're polishing everything up. If you're new to the market center, just to understand the excruciating process that Robert's been through. When we started this, he had hair.
Yep.
So it's been a grind.
So everybody be wonderfully kind to Robert. Always, but especially this week and maybe next.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. I am so excited about it. So I was talking with someone last week, and they're like, "Why are you doing this?" I mean, obviously we're doing it for you guys, but why are you spending so much time on it? I'm like, because I love doing this, and I'm hoping that the results bring smiles to people's faces. So.
Well, I think without fail, so this is our second year doing it digitally, and you'd be hard pressed for another market center to put together what you're currently putting together that they didn't bring on outside help. Does that make sense? I think if there's something more magical taking place at any of the market centers in North America, they hired outside, and we're blessed that we didn't have to. We just have to keep them full of Bulldog gin and. Look at him laughing. He's like, yeah.
My wife is like, are you coming home anytime soon? I'm like, I am home. She's like, yeah, I know, but are you coming home?
When are you leaving the lab?
But are you?
When are you leaving the lab? Oh, we appreciate that. What did I miss, Zoe? Did I miss something before we throw it over to Robert and Tech Tuesday?
So much. There's you guys, March is so full.
Yeah, it's the first day of March. There's that. Yep.
Whoa. There's so much of March. There's a lot of it. So
it's March Madness.
It's March marketing madness this March, right now, starting today.
Okay.
Today.
Talking.
Right. Meaning March starts today. But also today. So today we've got land classes, land deal class.
Meredith with Jason. Yep.
Jason Westcott, hybrid from Meredith, meaning you can be IRL in the Meredith training room or on Zoom for that class. There's home tours in York County, which if you're going, you should already be there, so you're welcome.
I rebranded the owl, by the way. The tool that we use when you're in the room today, there's going to be this tower. They call it the owl. It looks like an owl. It's got a rotating camera.
It has eyes.
And microphone. Yeah, so if you're anywhere in the room, if you start talking, it will locate you on camera, and it will also aim the microphone at you. So you've got a panoramic view on Zoom today at the top of your screen, and then whoever's the featured speaker will be mainframe. And we got to move away from the owl. It's too boring, so I'm calling it the looking chicken.
Okay, there's nothing Orwellian about this at all.
It's the looking chicken. It's JV's toy.
Okay.
She's very excited. Yep, go ahead.
It has its own little pelican, which is very cute. Which
Be
I love.
in the room for the looking chicken. It's very exciting.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The pelican's my favorite. But that's the case, everyone. So we had to buy the very special case to hold
for the very special camera. Again, JV's favorite toy. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So other aspects, other things that we've already put together for March Marketing Madness. You've got must-know fundamentals of real estate marketing. This is more than Marketing 101 because it's everything that you should know in order to market your real estate business. That's coming up next week on the 8th. On the 9th, we have a very special guest-hosted class, Selling with Heart, a non-salesy approach to your marketing. This is probably the thing we hear, I don't know, Tim, maybe most, like, you correct me if I'm wrong here, what you hear in your conversations.
I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to be salesy.
I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to be salesy.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't want to tell my mom I'm in real estate because I don't want to be salesy, right? Okay, cool. You don't have to be, right? There are so many ways not to be. So this class with Christina Frey on the 9th.
Yeah, she's awesome.
March 9th. Fantastic. She is magical and will absolutely give you that option. Put that in your toolbox, how to do this without being salesy. We've also got on the 11th, so next week is a big marketing week. We're still TBD on like the awesome name, but we've got a mashup class. We've got a mashup class with Miss Alana Babineau, Mr. Robert Vincent, and myself. And we're doing workshops. So this is a workshop. We're doing 3 sessions.
I wasn't invited. I'll make note of that. All right.
Well, yeah, it's teaching. I mean,
all right.
It's not coaching.
You will come out of this with
I think I just
knowledge
feeling.
And a couple of multi-touch smart plans. So multi-touch marketing, how to do that. That's on the 11th. Then, oh my gosh, you guys, there's so much. Then on the 24th, Alana and your compliance extraordinaire, Mr. Colin D'Agostino,
I love this,
are going to do a total roundup of compliance for social media. So this is an area where, like, I don't know, do I have to post like all of like that whole disclaimer in like every single Facebook post? Like, oh, that's a great question. Probably not, but there's probably something you should do. So Alana and Colin are going to cover all of those little details with you, especially
when
for
is that
things like
24th.
That's on the 24th of March.
Awesome.
All of this is going to be listed out in an email. It's going to hit you at about noon today.
Nooner.
With all of the March events. That's only like a quarter of it. You got March is so full. I can't even. It's awesome. So just keep scrolling is the motto of March. Marketing Madness. Keep scrolling.
Scroll down. Yeah. Well, and if your initial concern is I can't make it to all of those, or I'm fearful that I'll miss any of that, don't forget everything gets recorded and pushed over, and we have copies of all the things, so you can watch it later. But here's what I'm going to tell you, though. When we say that to give you grace, and I also know the probability that at 8:30 you're going to be like, let me grab a glass of wine and go watch that class from yesterday. Not gonna probably happen. Yeah, the meat on the bone is be in the room in real time, so you can ask your questions, so you can be part of the learning experience. And for all of our teachers and all of our instructors that are going to be hitting the classroom this coming month, it's always beneficial if there's more humans in the room. Right. And I mean that in person, IRL, and online. So be there, lean in. It's great that we can watch all this stuff later, but that tends to not happen, right? Because if you have a chance to get home and you're like, I'm going to watch that class later, unless you're setting time during the day. But when would you do that? If you're doing your lead gen and you're on appointments. So just carve out the appropriate time to be in these classes and be in the classes. You'll benefit from the conversation in the room in real time, for sure. Speech over. Throwing that out there. That's all. I think we've grown into I'll watch it later. I'll do that later. Tomorrow never shows up, right? And here we are, March, full reset. Let's hit the ground running. So much opportunity. This morning, James Shaw, if you were listening, was losing his mind over an article he saw where it said sales are up and listings are down. Sales are up and inventory is down. It's a French term. It's called bullshittery. Like, that's not a real thing, right? It's the velocity of the market. Like, clearly these homes had to come onto the market to be part of the sales process. So we have to educate, because that headline that James Shaw saw, your client saw, right? So if they're watching, if they're seeing something quick on their phone, if they're seeing something on a national news show, if they're seeing some headline from elsewhere, we've got to bring it all the way back down to the neighborhood conversation and be the local expert and talk to them about what's happening around here. Now, true story, do we have a lack of inventory? No, we have a lack of things on sale, right? It's our job right now in this month of March to face the shelves. There's a ton of inventory. Every house that's currently built could be inventory. So if you're going to go to your best probability on the calls today, people in your phone that own a home. People in your phone that own a home. Have a conversation with them about what their next move is. And if they're not going to sell for 2 months, that's cool, because you got to them first. Gary shared this stat last week, guys. I don't know if you heard this. 82% of homeowners work with the first agent they spoke to.
I know.
Will you be first today? I don't want to rush them. I don't want to pressure them. I'll go in fifth. I'm super confident. And I love if you.
Salesy.
I love if you are confident and you want to be fifth. Be first. Be first. 82% of homeowners work with the first agent they spoke with. I'd rather be in the 82 percentile than the 18 that's hoping for the best. Yep. So, Robert.
Robert, it's Tuesday.
Yeah, we got 5 minutes, kiddo. We talked about you DJing weddings with.
We took up all your time.
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, that's all right.
Hit it.
Today is Tech Tuesday, and so we have the 3 things lined up for you today. Because it's the beginning of the month, you can expect some introductory things for those of you just joining us. And I'm excited to say that, we're always improving things. So we're actually being more proactive in reaching out to new agents and getting you guys involved in trainings. So this is your opportunity. Today is March 1. It is March 1. And so Tech Tuesday begins today, which means DocuSign. The first class today is at 11 a.m., and that one is the Intro to DocuSign. And we're going to walk through what the heck it is, how to use it, and just get your feet wet. So we're not going to go crazy. We're just going to introduce you to some of the tools there and talk about connections and the process. At the Command 101 session today is the Command Overview. So we're going to talk about your database. We're going to introduce you to all of the applets in the database, talk about what it can do for you, and give you just a broad introduction to that tool. And this next one, Command 301 at 3 o'clock today, this is a little special. If you're not familiar with the 301 series, what we do is we talk about different things throughout the month. We don't follow any particular order. So there's nothing 101 about this, except for it kind of is, because we're going to be doing the kickoff for March Marketing Madness, Macchiato on Mondays, all this stuff. And Alana is definitely going to bring the macchiatos because she is going to be joining me today. Yesterday, I kind of threw her under the bus and told her she was. And then she kindly called me in the afternoon and said, I will definitely contribute because you asked me so nicely, which what you guys don't know.
She's so bougie. She's got the slow drip coffee in her office. Yeah, that she keeps telling me she's going to bring me one. Never happened. I mean, I realize I'm like 30 paces down the hallway, but we'll get to it. It's fine. Yeah.
She keeps on bragging about this stuff, but have I ever had any? No.
Yep.
Whatever. Yep. So anyways, I had to beg for her to join me, and she agreed, and she's going to be joining me at 3 o'clock today. And I didn't have a specific name, but I actually kind of came up with a theme for that. And it is Designs and Campaigns with Alana. So that's what we're calling today's 301 class. And what we're going to talk about, this is kind of special. We're going to be talking about how the designs you choose and the designs that you create, you have to choose them based on the marketing campaign that you're going to be building, because there's different campaigns and different designs, and we need to match them up. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, is picking the right designs for the right campaigns, or vice versa, if you want to think of it that way. But we're going to be focusing on understanding how designs and campaigns work together. And I don't think we've ever done this. And, we get calls like, why can't I do this? Why doesn't this work? It's like, okay, there's certain guides that you need to follow when you're doing designs and campaigns. And so that's what we're going to talk about. It's going to be exciting.
Perfect. Appreciate that. Reminder for everybody, we'll have Jason here tomorrow to talk about all 3 contrast classes happening. A little birdie told me, I'm certainly not going to push them under the bus. Really interesting when you go to these major events. And last week in conversation, JV talking to managing brokers, And she's one of the few managing brokers that gets dragged to events like this because Nathan loves her, and we're very lucky to have her. And she tolerated the entire car ride down with Nathan and Bradley and me, so she should be commended on that alone. In our conversation,
she did seem a little on edge yesterday.
I think. Well, wait a minute though. I mean, yeah. Sure, I'm gonna go with that.
He was just coming down from a very rough bender of a weekend.
Yeah, no, she's well, a lot going on. A lot going on. The family, they've got their new place in North Conway. They're selling a house. I mean, she's married to Mickelson. Let's baseline the conversation. Chris is a lot. Dr. Vashon's a lot. So anyway, but in our conversations with other market centers around the country, it is bedazzling. And I've said with love that we are the spoiled rich kids of real estate. It's bedazzling to find out how many market centers don't conduct contracts for their one state every 168 hours. Like that is every 167 hours, but nonetheless, that's crazy talk that's not happening on a regular basis. So please lean into contracts tomorrow. Massachusetts at 9, Maine at 10, New Hampshire at 11. Jason will be here to talk about that. With everything going on with marketing this month, lean into the conversation with Babs. It's KWCLMmarketing.com. 2 M's in the middle, like 2 B's. Babar, Fletch, nobody. Come on, Robert. No? Okay. He got it. Yeah. 2 B's? Yep. Anyway, so KWCLMmarketing.com for her full suite of services. Time with Babs with an S, time with BABS.com. If you want to book time with her, you're looking for Robert's face. He's available all day today. You can also go to timewithrobert.com. And if you're looking for me, it's meetwithcoach.com. Questions, comments, and concerns, 603-834-2856. You've got the rest of today to get your numbers in for the contest for the golden ticket with Timmy and the Listing Factory. And, of course, the details are in the email. What did it hit yesterday, Zoe? Like 5:14?
Something like that.
Check your email about 5:14 yesterday with the full details. Even the Whitney factor rules are at the very bottom in the fine print. And he's outside my hallway right now like he's waiting for David.
He has them printed
yeah,
up.
The tent's in the hallway. Yep. Waiting for his winnings. So we appreciate your time. We'll see you in and around the Market Center. Have a great day, guys.